Giggleboys. I'm Eli Halpern.
And I'm Mike Eaton, and it's Morbin time.
I was trying to do a Mexican accent. That came out Japanese.
Super Japanese, dude.
Japanese.
Yeah, Godzilla. Welcome you to Texas Catch Wrestling.
Dude, you know a girl has good pussy when you come like a Japanese man.
Good. All right. Well, this is strong start. Strong start.
This episode is brought to you by Texas Catch Wrestling, the fight that I'm about to do in 4 hours. Go to txcatchco.com to watch on PPV Saturday at 5 p.m. Yeah, dude, I'm fighting. I just found out he's a purple belt.
Oh.
I'm a white belt.
Yeah. White belt power. Wait. Oh, man, that's the worst form of white supremacy. So if you think white belts are the best. Continue. Well, so you're fighting at 5 p.m.?
Yeah, white is the lowest. So jiu-jitsu is the most leftist martial art. I don't know, man. But yeah, you know, I actually feel better about it because now that I know I'm definitely going to lose, I'm not. If I lose to... Can you fix your fucking hand?
I don't know what to do. Dan has this cool thing.
That's for an elbow. And then I think your hand hangs over onto the desk. All right, I don't know.
This is gay. Like it made my wrist gay.
But
so continue.
Yeah, so if I was going up against an equally experienced guy, I'd be like, oh shit, if I lose, then I suck.
Yeah.
But if I lose against a purple belt, there's no honor lost. It's just, but also like, why even do it in the first place?
But I mean, like, why ever enter into a fight if you don't think you can at least kind of win? Purple belts still make mistakes.
Yeah.
And he might make a fatal mistake. And
I'm just gonna
kill him.
You know how jiu-jitsu is all about? Like, you're not using your strength, you're using leverage.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna use strength.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna tire myself out, and he's fat. So
oh, nice.
I have that advantage.
Well, then don't use strength. Use longevity. Use your stamina to beat him. He'll be fat, and he'll keep trying to get... And then when you feel him really exerting, you just shell and defense, and then he's going to be fat and tired, and he's going to have to open his body to get air in there. I know this as a fat. You're like, get some air in there. It's so fat. And he's going to be doing that, and then you're going to go, "Quah!" and take all the air from his soul.
Or someone tapped me out to this the other day. They
tickled you?
They got full mount, and then they pressed their chest into my face.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my nose is about to break. So I turned, and then his chest was just covering my mouth completely, and I could not breathe at all. So I tapped out from that.
Do they call that stacking? Or stacking when you put them on top of themselves?
Yeah, stacking is when you like bend them onto their own head.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called.
I got in trouble for that one time.
That should be encouraged.
Oh, well, it hurt the guy.
Oh.
Because there's a lot of me and not a lot of him. And I didn't know what to do. And so I just, he had me in guard. And so I just stood up and then just pressed. And he wouldn't let go of his legs. So then I just took him like I was fucking him missionary style and just bent him. And I was like, all right, boy.
Yeah, he's supposed to open his guard. I think that's how you got me when we were wrestling in Vegas in our underwear at 4 a.m.
That's cool. We brought that up. That's really cool. Yeah. After we watched Con Air, had a nice little boys' day. Did some drinking, some gambling, then just wrestled in the room at 4 a.m.
Well, as a proud gay man,
yeah,
I have no regrets.
So you were saying, speaking of gay stuff, you said last night you got a hand job?
Yeah. So I had hung out with this girl like months ago, and then she was... She was just like, she was kind of like, what are your intentions? And I was like, I just want to have sex with you.
Yeah, coming. What are you talking about?
And then she was like, okay, well, you're an asshole for saying that. And I was like, okay, just insult me for being honest with you.
No
sure,
kidding.
I could have lied to you and led you on. Instead, I took the high road and gave you the truth, and you can't handle it because you're a fucking woman. So then she was like, fuck you, and she just stopped talking to me. And I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And then she just randomly hit me up again.
Yeah.
And then we were hanging out again. And then she's like, you just want to fuck me. And I was like, yes, still.
Yeah.
And then she just started jerking me off. And she's like, that's all we're doing. And then I had some lotion, and I was like, you know what? If this is all I could get, we might as well try to get as far as I can with it.
Yeah.
So I put on the lotion. She's jerking me off. I don't remember where this lotion came from, by the way. I'm not a lotion user.
I left it there for you. You're welcome. You're welcome.
And my dick starts tingling. And I'm like, hang on a second. I look at the bottle of lotion, and it's like a medicated, like 0.5% menthol. So my dick is just a candy cane.
Oh no, and she didn't like. Oh, get it off. You have to. I don't know what else to do. You have to saliva. It's the only thing.
No,
You're a fool for not trying that. You're a fool to not try and convince her that saliva would be the only way to save your penis.
She was she was very set on not having sex, and I was not about to talk her into it. I was just like, listen, let's just settle on a hand job, whatever.
The part of this story that makes it really good is that you're telling it to me while wearing that fucking mask. It's just like
I was wearing this mask when I got the hand job.
That's what I was hoping. I would assume.
No, that's not true. I will make that happen, though, just for this story.
What I would like you to do, though, is the next time that you're blowing a man is to wear that mask because it has a great cutout just right for your face.
And You've got more for my eyes.
You're like a portable glory hole. Who's in there? We don't know.
Man, I was trying to do a play on words, and I was drawing parallels to the Japanese accent. I was thinking hibachi and bukkake, but that has nothing to do with the luchador mask.
No. Your mind is in Japan today. Have you ever heard the song Big in Japan?
No.
It's a really good song from the 80s.
This mask is getting uncomfortable, though. I think I'm going to take it off.
You should. Take off the mask.
So you just got back from...
Wait, that's Eli? What the fuck?
So you just got back from L.A.
Yeah, dog.
You did some cool shit. I want to hear all about it.
Dude, it was cool. So... First off, one of the things I think people maybe not realize about comedy is that, like, especially at the stage that we're at, really any opportunity that you can get on stage, you have to try and take. And especially if it's a big stage. So you got to be like, willing. So I was doing the show in Reno on Thursday, but there was some kind of deal where I had to be in LA first before I went to Reno per the booker. And I think it was something to do with my plane tickets or some shit. But either way, I had to go out to LA, and I hit up past guest Michael Turner and Jonathan Kite. I was like, hey, guys, what should I do? And Bill Dawes. And the three of them hooked me up and got me on the Belly Room pre-show for Roast Battle and on Supernova. But one of the things, when we lived in LA, like I went out 7 to 10 times a week doing comedy. But a lot of the crowds, unless you were at like a really good bar show or something like Chatterbox, I forgot that a lot of the crowds sucked pretty bad. Like you'd have to get like 30 minutes outside LA to get like a good crowd. And I'd just forgotten about that. But I remember, now that I think about it, the first time that I did Sunset, when it was packed out, like April of 2021, that was unbelievable because it was 180 excited audience members. And I realized, oh shit, I never got that in LA. So going back there, I'd forgotten all this stuff, and I go to do the Belly Room. I'm really fucking excited. First, I'm over hanging at the Improv, and this is why LA is such a great city, is I go to the Improv, I'm hanging out with Jonathan Kite, my buddy Cole Strange, and we're sitting there, and then we walk into the lab, Matt Bronger's on stage, and then Pete Lee goes up, and Carmen Esposito was there, who's also very funny, but it's just, like a bunch of fucking killers. So we're watching the show, and then we leave, and as we're walking out, we look in the main room, and Jim Gaffigan is on stage, and then Dane Cook just walks by us.
Yeah, dude, the LA comedy scene is just everyone you could possibly imagine is in like 1 square mile.
Yeah, and then we drive over to the store. I go and I check in, and just hanging out at the store, seeing Matt Lockwood, guest of the show. We had on working the door and talking to him for a little bit, and I think Bruce Gray was there, and then I saw Joey Avery and Andrew Arolfo and Zach Chapeloni, but all these guys that are just fucking killing it. And then I go to do the Belly Room. My buddy Frank Ulloa came out, and we're sitting in there. And because it's pre-show, there's all of the battlers. I think there were like 6 battles. So there's 12 comics for that, plus all of the 12 comics' friends back in the green room of the Belly Room. And it is the loudest shit in history. There's just full-blown, like, bar patio conversations of people smoking and drinking. And the Belly Room doesn't close. There's not, like, a door there. So the sound's just coming out. And they've seated the front of the Belly Room, but they're filling up the back and adding more people. And the guy that went on first, Autistic Thunder, he's a very funny dude, but he had such a strange energy to start a set because he's up
autistic.
There. Yeah, he's autistic. And it's very clear in his delivery style where, one of the things about autism is not being able to read social cues. like
I've heard.
Yeah, man, I'm like about to sneeze. I fucking hate allergies here. But you need the ability to read social cues when you're on stage, because you need to adapt your energy to connect better with the audience. So if you say something and it's really fucked up, even just something like a wince or letting them know that they thought it was fucked up, just in some way creates a better connection there. But for him, instead, he would just power through. So he never really got him on board, and like we all have bad sets, it happens. So he has a rough set, and then I go up, and I'm like, all right, maybe my high energy and connecting with this crowd will work. And I'm like, yeah, let's fucking go. Like, let's party and do comedy, woo. And the first 2 rows are having fun. The guys in the front, on the left, it's 4 Marines. They're there to party. They fucking rule. Front right, they're kind of getting into it. They're starting to laugh. Things are going well. I'm like 2 minutes into my set, and I'm getting these people, but I just can't get the fucking room on board because it's so loud, and there's people walking in. And I'm like, shit, I'm just wasting my opportunity at the belly room. I thought I was going to murder and get a Netflix special out of this. Like, I thought they were going to carry me out of the belly room and be like, he's the new king of comedy.
And you're like, fuck, I get better shows in Austin.
Dude, I finished doing the show, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then the girl that goes on next to me, I won't say her name, but she is a porn star. And her 5-minute set is just about how you can find her on Pornhub getting railed out.
Is she hot?
No, that was why it bothered me. Is it's like she wasn't even LA hot. She just fake plastic stuff, but it was fine. It was like, so she goes up, and I'm like, God damn it! Why does that happen so much in LA? Where it's these girls that are like moderately attractive. They have a bunch of dudes in their DMs telling them how hot they are. They do porn, and then they're like, oh, I get approval there. Why don't I just do some giggles? And then they come and they get on stage, and they're like, you know what? I've said on dates that guys have laughed at. Shit. Wow. And then the crowd's like, all right.
There's like a law of diminishing returns to where 6s think they're hotter than 10s, because 10s, everyone's too scared to hit on them, but the 6s are like approachable and they get hit on way more. So they have a much more inflated sense of how attractive they are.
Yeah. No, dude, that's 100% it. And it's just so, that's a great point. That's very scientific the way you did that. I like that. So she goes up, and then next is Cooper Lyden. I don't know if you remember Cooper.
Yeah, I remember him.
Super funny. He's a door guy at the store now. He's in like a development spot. Fuck yeah. So Cooper goes up, and he's got that very specific kind of monotone. It doesn't sound like he's bored, but it kind of sounds like he's bored.
He sounds like a vaudeville villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, so there's a comedy happening here, see? But so he does his joke, and I'm laughing. And, like, they are funny, but the crowd's just, like, not getting on board. And he gets pops, and he gets laughs. But it's one of those things where, like, if he'd done that same set at fucking Filthy Show, they would have been losing their fucking minds. You know? And so I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Whatever. So I just hang out at the store for a little bit. I catch up with my friends. My old roommates came out. It was really nice. That's Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I'm fucking pumped. Let's do Supernova. It's, like, the biggest show in the country right now. And then the day of, they added Theo Von and Trevor Wallace to the show. So I'm like, holy shit. Like, what a fucking lineup. So I put on my golden cricket shirt. I go out there. Supernova is right by like downtown Hollywood, by like the Walk of Fame, near like the Chinese Theater, where the guy from the beginning of the episode hangs out. The Godzilla guy. Anyways.
The what?
The Godzilla guy. Have you never been to the Chinese Theater?
Yeah, there's a lot of characters. There's Spider-Man.
But the people that work there use the most intense stereotypical accent to announce it. So when you walk by, you just say, welcome to my Chinese theater. Please come inside.
I don't remember that at all.
I remember it specifically because one of the first things I wrote when I got there is that they should bring in like just a super redneck and let him do it. Like, hey, y'all, welcome to Mang's Chinese Theater. We got like dragons and shit in here. Y'all come check it out. You know? Anyways, so it's in between buildings in what used to be a parking lot, and then they've put like an artificial roof tarp thing up and then screens on all the wall, but it's just like a very LA thing where they're making the most economy of every space. So there's a stage in the middle, like 40 seats here, like 80 seats here, and then probably like 20 on each side. So I get there and Neil...
Was this like a lollipop-shaped stage?
Kind of. It's a round, so you have crowd 360 degrees.
Oh,
so
okay.
There's like... if this is the stage, it's in the middle, and there's crowd all around you, and then there's like stairs right here.
All right.
So you walk up the stairs, and you grab the microphone, and then you can look at people. It's awesome.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
It was so cool having people in every direction because you could feel the same way you can feel energy in a crowd. And you're like, whoa. It was just a whole new dynamic. These motherfuckers back here. And you say stuff and you're like, I see you, you know?
I'd be worried that someone had a gun.
It's California.
That's true.
And it's not a school, so pretty safe. But so Neil Brennan's on stage, who, I mean, like I grew up watching the Chappelle Show, and Three Mics, his special on Netflix, is so fucking good. And it also made me cry every time I watch it.
Which one?
Three Mics.
Oh, yeah.
Where he has the 3 different microphones. He has the personal stories one, where he talks about mental health stuff and like dealing with his depression.
And then the one-liners.
Yeah. But so he crushes, and then so it's him and then a guy named Shang. And I don't know how, but I hadn't ever seen or heard Shang before. I had just heard from other comics telling me he was really nice and very fun to work with. And sure as shit, he was super nice to me, and then he got on stage, destroyed. Dude is a fucking killer. I'm like, oh shit, this is awesome. So Shang goes up, and then Shang brings up Eric Griffin. And then Eric Griffin brings up Brian Simpson. And then Brian Simpson brings up Theo Vaughn. And then Theo Vaughn brings up Trevor Wallace. And I'm just like, what the fuck? It's just killer after killer of these big, verified, collective 5-6 million followers worth of talent on stage. And then Ashley Johnson went up, who he's been to Austin a couple times for Roast Battle, but very funny dude. I met Ashley at the Lexington, which is a bar in DTLA near Skid Row, where I did a show, and he explained that him and the other bartender there created a playlist of every song that talks about sleeping with underage people. So there's tons of them.
I remember you telling me about this,
there's
actually.
hundreds of these songs that are just about, like, she's 16, and, like, so they created it, and they called it the Implication Station. And because it's a venue in downtown LA, a lot of the times what their music would be is bands coming in. And he said that he created specifically so that when the bands were a bunch of under 18 kids, that all of the clientele were shitty parents that he hated, they would just play that music until the parents started to notice and be like, what the fuck is going on here? So Ashley's a very funny dude. So he goes up and crushes. And then the guy after him, I said, maybe it just wasn't his night. I don't know. But boy, howdy did he walk 60% of the crowd.
Oh, man.
I'm on cloud 9 watching some of my fucking heroes destroy the stage. Like, I'm going to close out this show. Me, Mike Eaton, a name 10 people know, is going to close out this fucking show. I'm like, I can't believe it. And then the guy before me goes up there, and I'm like, all right, let's watch what he does. Let's get in there. And I just watching fucking droves of people get up and walk out. I'm like, no, no. So I got up there, and I did my jokes, and I had a good time. And I did okay. But just, it's 2 hours into the show. You've had a bunch of fucking murderers on, and the last guy just sucked all the energy out of the room. So I really worked for it. But I got some good laughs. I did my Xanax story. And when I pull out the tattoo at the end, I got a big pop. And I got, pretty much everybody. But because I was in the round, I forgot to show the other side, my ass. I didn't want to turn with my ass out. So
Make a full ass rotation.
right? I needed to. But it was really cool. But it also made me think, like, man, we're so lucky to be in Austin where the stage time is fucking incredible. So it's whatever. I leave LA. It was fine. I got to see a lot of great people. I got to see Mike Glazer, who's fucking crushing it right now. He's High Times top 100 influential people in cannabis. So we talked for a little bit, and then the next day, I fly to Reno, and that's where the trip got amazing. The dude, Full-Time Tony.
Yeah, as soon as you leave LA, everything's better.
Yeah, for real.
LA's the worst.
It's crazy that it's so bad and so awesome.
Yeah.
Because I saw 20 famous, awesome, nationally touring comedians doing jokes and working them out. And I also saw a bunch of crowds that are just so fucking stuck up that they don't appreciate any of it.
Going to LA for the celebrities is like going to Singapore for the rich people. Unless you're rich, you're just going to be watching other rich people have a good time.
Damn, that's a very good analogy. I was wondering where you were going to go with it. No, dude, that's 100%
Sometimes they
accurate.
land.
No, they did great. I think you're in fight mode today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, what? So you were on the show with Lucy, right? Sign language interpreter from Giggleboys Live.
From our live episode. Yeah, but so this guy, Full-Time Tony, picks me up, and Tony also is part of a cannabis company called Culture and Cannabis. So he gives me and Yorgo a pre-roll right off the plane. We're so happy. We go and get some awesome food. Shout out Two Chicks, Reno. They did one of the best breakfasts I've ever had. It was Eggs Benedict, but instead of a biscuit, they used sourdough. And they garlic buttered the sourdough toast, and then they put melted cheese and then garlic butter sourdough. So you have a mini sourdough garlic butter grilled cheese under a poached egg with candy bacon soaked in hollandaise. I almost just had a stroke because I was
Hollandaise. Are you thinking about ice cream? Hollandaise. Dude, I ate so much last night. I went to P. Terry's and I got a burger and 2 orders of fries.
Okay.
And
their shake of the month is pineapple.
Yeah. And then I ate it in the parking lot, and I was like, "Damn, that was good." I went around for a round 2, and I got another burger. And I just
you get me.
I've been smoking a lot more weed lately because I'm not doing any other drugs, and I feel like I shouldn't. But also, yeah, let me get a hit.
Oh, this is gonna be so funny. What if you get knocked out because of this?
You can't get knocked out in jiu-jitsu.
I beg to differ. Anyway, so we eat at Two Chicks, and then I go back, and they got us a fucking hotel, which rules. Like, there's very few things that feel cooler than sitting at a hotel that was paid for by people that like the way your brain works. And they're just like, hey, we're going to pay for your brain to come here and do things for us live. Here's a room for it. So I'm good. I wake up, I go to the show. Lucy, that was our sign language interpreter, came to the show and told Joe Comedy, the guy that runs everything there at the Polo Lounge, like, hey, Mike's super fucking funny. Please put me on a show with him. I really want to be on the show. So Lucy and her boyfriend come to the show. And Lucy did way better than I was expecting for someone who's been doing it 3 months or whatever.
And is hot.
But, I mean, I give her a bunch of advice. Like, hey, stop. Don't just talk about you're hot and you're bad at comedy. That's not you don't want to do that for a set. But like, she was very receptive and listened and like took notes and shit. So
yeah, she told me she was very appreciative of the talk you gave her.
Yeah, her boyfriend's a very nice guy. He took pictures and videos for me and enjoyed the show. There was a kid there. Fuck his name. I know his Instagram's like AKA Will, but he's 18 and he's doing stand up and he's been doing it for like a couple years. It's like that's fucking cool.
Is he good?
He's for 18. He's great, but it's kind of those things you can kind of see a window into how much your age and demographic shapes your material. Because a lot of his jokes at 18 are stuff that was like, I remember when that was like the peak of comedy. So he goes up, he does well, and then
Chipotle's kind of mid though, for real.
For real. I did hear a girl come up to Trevor Wallace after his set and go, "Yo, Trevor, those jokes were fire." And I wanted to be like, oh, God. But, oh, dude,
I feel like that's how Trevor Wallace talks.
It's not. He's such a cool and nice guy.
He talks like that as a joke so often that I feel like it's got to be real. It's got to, like, permeate his personality. He does it ironically to the point where I feel like it has to become some part of him.
Like, eventually, yeah, it's got to be in his
Did you see Fahim Anwar?
I didn't.
Dude, he's my favorite. He just released a special. I didn't see it yet. But I saw a clip on Instagram, like, right before I came over here. And he's, like, talking about how, like, yeah, you know how girls will take pictures in front of a brick wall that has, like, wings on it? And, like, you know, guys are so quick to roll their eyes at it. But if you had a wall with, like, Wolverine claws on it, you'd be like, ah. And his little act out is hilarious.
Dude, he's super fucking funny. All right, Will Contine was the kid's name. He's 18. But
Good Will Cunting?
Bingo. So he does great. And then he also very much looks like an actor that plays creepy stuff. And so every now and then he would smile and I'd be like, I'm going to punch her little dumb face. But I didn't say that out loud.
Every time he would smile.
Yeah, when he felt joy, I was like, you have to stop doing that.
I was averse to him feeling any sort of happiness.
But so then a girl named Sarah Rooker, that's a local from there, goes up. And she destroys. She's great. She does a bunch of material about being a lesbian and how her and her lesbian girlfriend moved in really quickly. So I got to reference that and be like, me and my wife got married very fast. Apparently we're technically lesbians, so you get the callback laugh.
That's good.
But she ended her set. Some guy was heckling her about being gay and said, "What, are you going to go spit on a pussy?" And he goes, "No, sir, unlike you, I work with wet pussies." And it just levels the room. I'm like, fuck yeah, girl, get it. And then Yorgo goes up and he does great. I I don't know if you remember Yorgo Architas, but he's from New Orleans and now he lives in LA, but very funny dude, great guy. So he goes up and does great. And then also Joe Comedy has been doing material in between all the comics. He's a very funny dude. We got to have him on the pod because he's so interesting. It's just like if you took Travis Pastrana and gave him meth and put him in Reno. Like, this dude fucking rules. He wears, like, a little bit below the knee black shorts, has hundreds of tattoos, high black socks. He's got, like, fucking the lokes that he wears inside with a black, like, fitted hat kind of like this. Like, yo, I'm Joe Comedy.
Interesting.
He's awesome. But
like a San Bernardino bro.
Yeah, but...
I didn't know those still existed.
But a BMX white version of that.
Those were all... Where I grew up, we had all kinds of those. They were all white.
Okay. Well, so
like the famous Stars and Straps and Fox Racing and...
Bingo.
Dude, what else was there?
You're nailing it. The famous...
DC shoes.
Dude, Etnies. The guys that had the huge E on the fucking shoe.
The big puffy, yeah.
But so it's them. So it's really cool. And Joe goes up, and then Joe brings me up, and I go on stage. And the thing was, I didn't know how long I was supposed to do. And these guys had flown me out there, and they're paying me. And I also didn't want to, like, show too many cards and be like, I've never done 45 before. Like, I didn't want them to know that going into it. So I was like, I can do 45, So I'm doing my time, and I'm doing my jokes, and I'm doing a little bit of crowd work, and I'm taking my time with it.
Hang on, how long was this whole show? Or how big was the lineup?
Started at 8:15. I got off stage at like 10:30.
Okay, and you knew ahead of time that you were doing 45?
I knew I could do as much as 45, but he also said if you're murdering, just have fun, go as long as you want.
Okay.
That's good?
I'm good.
So, so the show's been going on a little while, and I'm doing my stuff, and there's a couple that one of the comics talked to before, and they've been together for 7 years, but they're not married, and so I talked to them for a minute. I did my eating ass joke, and it does really, really well. And then I'm talking to that guy and the girl, and I'm like, well, she's clearly never eaten your ass, or you would have proposed. And the crowd's like, yeah. And then a dude in the front row's phone starts ringing, and he didn't silence it, and his ringtone is like a quack. So you're just like, you're like, what is that? See the phone, and he goes, oh, shit. And I'm like, we're answering it. So I answered it. I put it on speakerphone. And so I'm just sitting there talking to this guy's girlfriend. I'm like, hey, it's Angie. Angie, how are you doing tonight? She's like, good, who is this? I'm like, well, what is your boyfriend's name? She goes, it's Christian. I'm like, well, Christian's at a comedy show right now. She goes, I know. I'm like, well, I'm the comedian. And I'm on stage right now. And I just
Christian's at a strip club right now.
And I'm like, I just answered Christian's phone. She's like, oh, no. She's like, fuck. And then I talked to her for a second, and I was like, hey, just one question before you go, Angie. I gotta know, have you ever eaten Christian's ass from behind? Everybody laughs, and she goes, oh, no. And I was like, well, doesn't sound like you're gonna be getting married. Goodbye, Angie. I hung up and handed him the phone back.
Oh, man, he had to apologize. That's funny.
For sure. But so funny. So just a fucking banger of a good time. But just to give an idea to people so they don't think that I'm like the most egotistical piece of shit on the planet. I do my time. I never see a light. I did my Xanax story after I felt like, all right, I need to really get them on board. I'm doing shorter jokes and some crowd work. So I do that. It crushes. And then I do all my marriage material. And then I'm like, oh, man, I still could probably pop them like once or twice. So I did my grandma Alzheimer's joke, but I slowed it down and I gave some context to it. And I like really made it more into a story form. And it murdered harder than it's ever murdered. And I used it as my closer just on luck that night.
Dude, I told you, man. You were like nervous about doing long time. And I'm like, you can fucking do it.
But I did it, and I got off stage, and Yorgo was standing outside, and I was like, dude, did I just like crush for 45 minutes? He goes, yeah, bud. And I'm like, fuck, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a long time.
It's wild, dude. And I had like 2 or 3 more jokes. I didn't touch into any of my bullying material. Like I had a couple stories that I could still tell, but I started off smoking my vape pen on stage and cheering about weed, and then just talking about weed with everybody and telling stories. It was amazing.
Yeah, you should do more long sets.
I know. Well, so tonight, if you're in Austin, I'm on Stone vs. Drunk vs. Sober, which is an iconic Austin show with a team of stoned people, team of drunk people, and a team of sober people competing to see who's the best at comedy. But then Sunday, I'm back with Jake Daniels, the comedy magician. And then next Thursday and Friday, I'm in Kansas City at Kansas City Comedy Club with Jonathan Kite featuring. And then a week from today, Papa's recording a special.
Wait, you're recording a special in a week?
Yeah.
Where?
A week from today, dog.
Fuck yeah. Where at?
The Ballroom.
Nice.
I'm recording as part of the new series. Sunset put together a series of specials called The Breakouts. And it's going to be me, Adam Lucky, and Heather Shaw.
What date is that?
That is June 4th. It will be at 10 p.m. at the Ballroom at Spider House on Fruth Street. Please get tickets. Come out. It's going to be a really fun time.
Man, I'm excited for
I'm
that.
bringing the fucking heat, and we are going to have an absolute blastaroni and cheese.
Yeah, dude, I think that's going to be like your big break. Because then you can clip the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
And do some type of Instagram promos, and I think it's going to reach a lot of eyes.
Yeah, well, I think like because it's my first special that I'm ever putting out, and I'm really proud of it and excited about it. Like I'm gonna, ask everybody to help me and share it and watch it, and
Yeah, and we could just premiere it as a Giggleboys episode.
we could, yeah. I want to put it on my own channel so that I have like a Mike Eaton comedy channel, but we can share it on here and watch it with the Drinking Bros. We figure all that out later. But I think like more than anything, I just want to do a really good job. So I'm doing as much longer time so that I can just really crush 20.
Yeah.
Because I've been, dude, have I talked to you about these shows I've been doing in Littletown, Texas?
No.
Bro. So John Rice, who we have to have on the show.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's so fascinating. He's told me some stories, like in passing, but we got to sit in the car for a lot of hours. So he hits me up. John and Adam Lucky and Chris Reeves all moved here from Seattle. And when they moved down here, they stayed friends. And some guy from Seattle hit them up and was like, there's this dude touring through Texas. He needs a feature. He had to fire his feature in the middle of the tour. So Rice hit me up and was like, hey, do you want to go with me? So our first show is in LaSalle, Texas, which is about 3.5 hours directly southeast. Yeah, good. Fuck. Dude, I had a bunch of Whataburger spicy honey butter chicken biscuits last night.
It's spicy.
It's new, and it's so good. I could eat 100 of them, but it hurts today. Anyway, so we go to LaSalle.
You gotta try Hideaway's honey butter chicken biscuit.
Yeah?
It's
Hideaway's the one that's in the Ramada?
Yeah. You also might see some hookers walking by.
Nice. Cool. Always a bonus for lunch. So LaSalle, Texas is almost to the coast, but way south of Houston. So it's just a little middle of fucking nowhere town. And the last 30 minutes of the drive, me and John are just driving through one-way dirt roads through cornfields. And then we come to an intersection in the four-way stop in the cornfields, and there's just a fabricated building over to the side, which is like plywood walls. We're like, oh, okay, that's what the GPS says we're going to, and we haven't had service for an hour, so hoping this is it. We walk in. A little woman comes out to greet us, walks up, and she goes, hi, I'm Skittles. I used to be a bartender here, but now I got fired because I went to jail. I'm like, hi, Skittles, it's nice to meet you. And she goes, my boyfriend Jerry pretty much lives here. He's like the bar regular. I was like, great, that's awesome. Well, I'm Mike. And he goes, I'm John. And then we go over and we meet Jake. Jake has 70% of his hearing with his hearing aids, and he has like a slight speech impediment. And it wasn't until about 5 minutes before the show, or before we got there, that John told me that, or that he did magic. So I was like, oh, this is a partially deaf comedy magician that we're going to be doing work for. Okay. So I meet him, we talk for a little bit, and then a dude walks up with massive horse teeth. Like, it just felt like his teeth went out like 3 inches in front of his fucking face. And he goes, hey man, I'm Jerry Garcia, and I got all 10 fingers. I was like, what? He goes, it shows me he has all his fingers. I'm like, I don't understand the significance. I guess Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead
Yes.
Is missing fingers? Is that a thing?
Brandon, have you heard this? Dan,
do you know? Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead, is he missing fingers?
I'll look it up.
I don't think that's a thing.
So this guy was really just straight up retarded and was like, I got 10 fingers. Look how cool I am.
Yeah.
He told us that he'd been to prison a few times. But what was really great is John has a bunch of gay material, and he's doing it at town. So afterwards, me and John are outside smoking weed, allegedly, and a dude walks up and he goes, hey, man, you're pretty funny, but you got to stop talking about sucking dick. It's disgusting.
So,
But he's like, but that's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
2/3 of 4-year-old Jerry Garcia's middle finger was cut off by his brother in a wood splitting accident. So his middle finger.
Oh.
How long before he died?
This was when he was 4.
Oh, so his whole
Life,
life as a professional musician, he was missing part of his finger.
He was just...
You learn something new every day.
Well, how about that? Well, maybe Jerry Garcia in LaSalle, Texas is only mostly retarded instead of completely.
Also, Casey Rocket just texted me he has flat tires.
I know, I'm so sad. I was napping before this. Well, I just slept, I guess that's what I should call it. I was night napping, and I napped all night, dude.
Yeah, did you sleep good?
No.
Have you still been not sleeping?
Yeah. Well, but I sleep more than I was when I was sleep deprived. That was a week where I had to do a lot of day job work, and so I was up at 8 a.m., and then I was doing comedy at night.
Now it's just a lot of hand job work.
Yeah. And that's you. You got a lot of hand job work.
With menthol.
So we did LaSalle. We also did Tuscola, Texas, which is a small town like south of Abilene. And then we did Bastrop. Bastrop was really fun. And then we did, we're doing on Sunday West, which is a little bit north of here, where they had that big explosion, kind of like the one in Syria. It was the same stuff.
In Texas?
Yeah, West Texas, the city of
There
West.
was an explosion
yeah,
that was comparable to Syria?
So there was that, what is that port in Syria that exploded? Because
Oh,
of
you're
all
thinking
the
of-
wet shit. Is it Syria? I don't know all those
No,
countries.
you're thinking of, it starts with an A.
Algeria?
No. Fuck.
Albania?
Dude,
Africa?
What was that, Dan, what was that place that exploded?
It was like a port, and a bunch of like explosive stuff got wet, and then they didn't store it properly, and then it just one day combusted. I thought it was fucking Syria, dog.
Syria's not on the coast.
Oh, fucking, that doesn't mean they're
It
not on
is?
the port.
Well, is that where it blew up, Brandon?
What's that?
Where did that thing like blew up a few years ago? On the coast.
Lebanon.
Lebanon.
Yeah, Lebanon.
Shit full of explosives that they used to make IEDs with.
Yeah,
All right.
there was a ship full of explosives that had been like docked there for like a long time from the Israeli military or something.
Yeah, I think it's a conspiracy. It was filled full of fertilizer.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a fertilizer thing that
Fertilizer.
becomes like super combustible when it's stored improperly. So that is the same thing that happened in West, which is also famous because they have the Czech stop, which is where you go to get delicious Czech food like kolaches.
Czech food?
CZECH. Czech.
Kolaches are Czechoslovakian?
I guess. At this place they are.
What the fuck?
This place is
dude?
called the Czech Stop, and it's like a famous, because if you go from Austin to Dallas-Fort Worth, you have to drive 35, and 35 takes you through West Texas, and you stop at the Czech Stop. So it's like one of those points, kind of the same way that Buc-ee's got started, it was just where you stopped on road trips as a halfway between Dallas and Houston, in Madisonville. You'd be like, oh, I'm going to stop at fucking Buc-ee's. Or if you were really cool, you went to Woody's across the street. It's better.
I haven't driven outside of Austin many times.
It's very fun. Texas is a fun state to drive through because it's fucking giant. But only if you like driving for long periods of time.
I don't like driving at all. I find it navigating a giant metal death box to be unnerving.
I understand. You got to smoke a lot of CBD and get on some good music or audiobook and just chill, doggy.
But a Tesla's cool because it drives itself, but it's also not cool because you gotta like stop every 2 hours.
Yeah.
But also, if I'm driving with my dog, I gotta let him out every 2 hours anyways.
Yeah.
But also, I don't really need to do that, and it's unnecessary. It's a
Dude,
lot of time.
Once Teslas get to a place where they have like really killer, like we're going to make some kind of breakthrough with solar conversion. It just, the necessity is the mother of invention, and we're about to be like oil fucked hard. So I think like people are really going to like brain up with these alternative energies. Elon, as much as I hate that piece of shit, hires a lot of real smart people and lets them do smart shit. So hopefully one of them motherfuckers figures out like a really efficient way for the battery and the Tesla to last forever, because then it will be truly the perfect car.
One of the last times I listened to Jordan Peterson, he was saying, climate change. What does climate even mean, though?
Perfect. That's an example of exactly what he does because he has such a great vocabulary that he can take a topic like that. And if you break it down semantically, you can start to poke holes in the semantics of an argument. And then it has nothing to do with the fact that the world is clearly dying. There's a guy named Immanuel Kant who wrote a book called Critique of Pure Reason that talks about pretty much exactly that. That like there are times where you can semantically and logistically like make an argument that's sound in logic and free from fallacy, but still misses the point because of the nature of the world. Like you know it to be false, although you cannot prove it to be false. It's a really interesting line of thinking in philosophy.
It's fun to toy around with logic
Yeah.
and just seeing what you can get away with.
Yeah, I made Logic buy a very expensive Charizard card.
What?
Logic, the rapper, I forced him to do that. That's how I toy with Logic.
It's expensive Charizard card?
Damn it, that joke was... Someone online really appreciated that I made that joke, but no one here did. Yeah! Yes! Yes! That's all I ever wanted!
Whoa, I didn't know we could do laugh tracks.
God damn it, that's so cool!
I don't get it. Is that a meme?
No, Logic, the rapper?
Yes.
He spent the most money that's ever been spent on a Pokemon card buying a holographic Charizard for like $30 million or some shit like that.
Oh, dude, I had a holographic Charizard card and I got fucking scammed out of it when I was in first grade by a sixth grader.
Oh, I thought it was going to be your Down syndrome bully. This is mine now.
Like when you brought that up, I was like, I never told you about that. Now you're toying with my logic.
Yeah. But so, how did the sixth grader take your card?
He gave me a Machop that was Japanese, and he convinced me that because it was Japanese, it was more valuable.
That's so... We had kids trying to do that shit at my school.
Yeah.
There was a kid that tried to trade me a fucking Japanese Murkow because it was from a newer generation of Pokemon. He was like, this is way rare. They don't even have this Pokemon in America yet. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, but I'm also not giving you anything for it.
Yeah, dude, I traded my holographic Charizard for it.
That's depressing. Well, the thing, if it makes you feel any better, I also had like this huge... they need to come up with a name for it, but there's a whole generation of us that had these items, Beanie Babies, Pokemon cards, Pogs, Tamagotchis, certain things that have come back into the zeitgeist and have been immensely like valuable. So like the Princess Diana, like purple fucking Beanie Baby is worth so much fucking money.
Yeah, I feel like that's where they were
Dan?
going with NFTs because they were just like, yeah, apparently if you just hang on to worthless shit for long enough, it's worth something.
I feel like a lot of the Princess Diana Beanie Babies are worthless, though.
Because of the car crash?
No. I think it's like a very limited amount that are like first edition that are
Exactly.
the ones that are worth money.
You're 100% right. So that's the thing is like with the holographic Charizard, the one that's worth $1 zillion has like a misprint or something fucked up about it. And so it's the only one of that in the world. So a lot of those things, much like NFTs, are essentially fucking useless and valueless. But we held on to them with this idea that maybe we got the special one, but you didn't know. Like my parents used to give me, my mom
Which is
specifically used to give me
ironically
shit
how
for
people feel about their children.
that they shouldn't have kept them? Abortion gate. Let's talk about it.
That they're all equally worthless, but maybe they got the special one.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it's crazy how everyone thinks that their kid is good.
Yeah.
It's like most of you are wrong.
That's why people shouldn't have kids. Because then they grow up to be, you saw what happened in Texas. They just grow up to get shot in school.
Dude, so one of the things that I don't want to get too much into the shooting because it's been covered by so many people that know more and talk better about it. But one thing I will say...
I know more and I talk better about it.
Okay. One of the things I found really interesting, someone posted on Reddit a question in the Ask Reddit subreddit where you can just pose a question and people can answer. And keep in mind, there's no verification that any of these are real people, but I always just take it as real because I'm an idiot. And
I'm so clearly fake.
But so the question was, police and first responders of Reddit, how do you feel about what happened in Uvalde? And a lot of people were responding that they were blown away by the lack of coordination on a national level in training in how to respond to an active shooter situation. Because there were police from all over the country chiming in that like, hey, they didn't follow any of the protocol. Like a lot of people were really mad and they're like, they should be charged with like involuntary homicide, like manslaughter shit. Like they should have charges brought against them for like in military that'd be dereliction of duty and you'd be court-martialed because you stood outside and like the media storm around all of this and like all the holes in what the sheriff is saying and what's going on. He said at one conference that the police went in and got their kids and then kept the other parents from doing the same. Like just a whole mess of stuff about it. And it was just so interesting to see that there really is a problem that like when you say defund the police, one of the things that you're taking away in that financial world is like adequate and current training. Like it no matter who you are, like you have to at some point in your life, if you've lived in a real place, have seen the value of police. Like you've felt unsafe, you've been around someone, you haven't been able to protect yourself.
I completely disagree.
You've never seen the value of police in your life once.
No. I've seen the value of an imminent threat of violence looming around the corner, but I've never seen police actually help anyone.
So in the idea of them, they don't solve a lot of crimes. I think that the statistic is like 3% of major crimes are solved by the police. Like, it's not like a high success rate in terms of crime after the fact being fixed. But I think in terms of crime prevention, like having police outside, seeing a dude that I, up until this point, assumed is trained and has a gun and is there just for protection. That's what we pay him for, so that we can feel safe. If there's a bad thing happening, that guy makes you better because you don't have to carry a gun.
I feel unsafe around police more than any other type of person.
I grew up in the suburbs for the most part, and when I was in the bad part of the neighborhood, like the cops were like, oh, they are here to fix the scary people here. Because there were scary, loud people doing crimes and loud music and stuff. And I'm young, I don't get it. But if the police were there, it was like, okay, this will be better. And then when you get to the suburbs, I hated the cops because they'd mess with me for smoking weed. And they'd be like, stop driving so fast.
Yeah, that's what they're doing to everyone. And then they go to jail because they can't afford to pay their bail. And then they just fill prisons with people that are just smoking weed. And probably a lot of other people.
I'm not saying that the police are perfect at all. Like clearly,
I wouldn't even say that they're a net positive in any regard.
So here's this one time when I was living in Garland and I was working for the knife company Cutco. I was at the office late, and my little sister sends me a text message and says, "I'm really scared. Dad's not answering his phone, and there was just a shooting in his neighborhood." At the time, my dad was living in South Lake Town Square, their outdoor mall, in one of the homes that's there in the town hall or town square. And I get on Google and I search it, and sure enough, someone had just shot and killed a lawyer in South Lake Town Square. No other information, just that a drive-by had occurred in South Lake Town Square. Someone had pulled up, fired, and shot and killed a lawyer, and then driven away. That there's still active pursuit, trying to figure it out. And I am 45 minutes away. And like, so I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, did my dad just get fucking murdered? Like, holy shit. And like, my sister's scared. And the police went over to my dad's house and like went and checked to make sure that he was okay and called me before I could even get there to let me know, like, hey, that wasn't your dad. It was a different lawyer. There's just a lot of lawyers and people hate them. But like, just knowing that, I mean, that's what they're there to do, was to make it, like, that situation was very scary. They might not solve that fucking thing, but they fixed my part of it. They were an accessory of safety. Like, I feel like that's a pretty important tool to have in society. If you're out of town and someone breaks into your home, or like, you know, you have someone watching Pablo, and like, you know, there's just like a natural deterrent of crime knowing that the police exist.
Yes, knowing the police exist deters crime.
Yeah, you don't want Pablo to get murdered.
But policemen actually do not help anything.
So that's what
all
I'm saying.
They do is make
if we
people
take all their
feel
money,
unsafe.
then it's just going to get worse and worse. Like,
I also agree with that, because
we got to just get them better trained. Like, you have to stop making. I think the thing is to have fewer, better police, and to make the training longer. I mean, like, you have to have 4 years of college, 3 or 4 years of college and a bachelor's degree, plus 3 more years and get a Juris Doctorate to be able to
they should be
interpret the law.
smarter, and they should have had smoked weed before.
Well, weed just needs to be legalized on a federal level. Like, it's just fucking bonkers insane that it's not. We just need the old people to die.
I think they're going to do it pretty soon. Like,
I don't.
This administration has fucked up so many things. I think they're going to throw us a little legal weed just as like come on.
I have no idea what's going to happen because I don't think that there's anybody that can watch Biden and listen to him talk and be like, yeah, I'm voting for him again. I need 4 more of that.
Yeah, that's why I think all these mass shootings are like psyops and, well, not psyops, they're actual operations. But I think they're all like the guy that wrote the N-word on his
Gun?
AR and then killed a bunch of black people.
Yeah.
I feel like I understand the mind of a psycho,
Jesus.
but I do not understand why anyone would want to go kill a bunch of innocent black people.
Because he'd been radicalized to think that there was a great replacement happening and that white men were dying out. The same fucking dumb bullshit rhetoric that the Klan started saying.
Dude, I know some insane people. I don't know anyone who thinks that.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. I'm glad you don't know anyone that thinks that way. But like having been to like even that fucking dude that came up to me and John in LaSalle, the way that he said, stop talking about sucking dick. And then John laughed it off and was like, hey man, it's a comedy show. If you didn't notice, everybody was laughing. Like if you didn't enjoy it, you can just, earmuffs. You don't have to enjoy the whole show. And the guy goes, haha, but really. Like very serious in like a subtly threatening kind of way, where it was like
yeah, I get that. He's
just
afraid of his own sexuality. It's cool.
But so you can't tell me you don't think that there are people out there that are genuinely fucking racist.
I do, but I don't think they're also smart enough to navigate a terrorist attack.
He didn't navigate a terrorist attack. He fucking went 2 hours to go to Buffalo and then live streamed him just shooting his best. None of these shooters have been people that tactically did very good.
Dude, his aim was on point. What are you talking about?
If you look at how many people are in a given situation, if you walk into a room and it's 100 people and they start panicking and frenzying, if you are a trained, like, military dude and you have your fucking gun and you're ready and you've got a bunch of ammunition, look at Vegas. That dude was tactical and efficient, and even he should have gotten 100, 150. There's 1,000 people out there. So, like, none of them have been, like, super prodigious in their field. We haven't had, like, fucking the best sniper going crazy. There are people that are, like, fucked up mentally, and then some other pervading belief has caused them to think, oh, no, my life's ending. Something is terrible is happening. It's not worth going on anymore. So I'm going to go out with a blaze of glory, making my message heard. And then they do that thing.
But his manifesto was all about how the Jews run everything. Why didn't he kill a bunch of Jews then?
He didn't think he could. I don't know.
I guess they don't all shop at the same place.
But also,
we remember what happened last time in Germany.
Yeah, they had to diversify their shopping.
Yeah.
But so I think that, it's crazy that I don't think that they're psyops. I think that it's more by being laissez-faire and just like
I think the Democrats are fucking terrified that they're not going to win the next election. So they're doing all this crazy shit to try to, like, with the abortion stuff and racism and mass shootings, they're trying to be like, look, there's white supremacy and there's gun violence and we're trying to stop it because they're desperate to cling to something so they can win the next presidency.
I don't know. I think that both sides are just desperate to win. I think that, like, the just win era of politics was ushered in with Donald Trump, where it truly, up until that point, there had been some just last bit of gilding on the edges where it was like, no, we're doing politics. We're trying to solve problems. We have agendas and policies, and we're going to talk about the issues. But it was really just a guise for them to sell their personality and to be charismatic. And it started to kind of tip with Obama, but with Trump, he was just, fuck these guys, fuck your mother, fuck you, cry about it, libs. And a bunch of people were like, yeah, fuck you, libs. And it stopped being anything to do with policy, and it was just like, I fucking hate those bitches, and I want their guy to lose. And that is pervaded, and now it is just the norm in politics.
Well,
So,
I think the other side would say the exact same thing about Trump.
I think both. There's no other side. I'm not on a side. I hate everybody, but that's why I love Dan so much. Fucking all politicians are cunts, and they're getting cuntier because they're not even being about policy anymore. They're not even politicians. They're just fucking celebrity figures that are running for office because it secures them more financial leverage. That's all it is, and it's just people looking out for themselves, and they're doing it under the guise of politics. But it's just fucking ruined.
It's past money, man. It's about power and control. They already have all the money they need. Every politician had more than enough money a long time ago. They just want control. Like,
Then why do past presidents do speaking tours?
because that's power.
And money too. They get
Yes,
fucking
obviously
fed,
money.
dog.
Obviously money is, but they're not like, oh, if I just had $10 million more, I'd be happy. Or they're just like,
You don't
no,
think so?
I want no.
You think it's just power acquisition? Do you think that?
Yes.
So I think that they're hand in hand, and I think that the financial part of it, because a lot of their wealth is not in liquid cash. They're not just amassing like liquid wealth. What they're doing is acquiring parts of companies, and their wealth being tied to power in that way. I think that the financials are just a marker of how much power they have in cohesion with how much political power they have, how much draw they have. But I mean, I think that's the same in just about every industry. If you look at people in comedy in some of the showbiz world and how they take power in being who they are, you know, it's
I mean, life's just all about climbing hierarchies. Everyone's just trying to get to the top of whatever they're doing.
but that's the thing that, as much as I like the getting to see all of the famous comedians and like I really admire them and like where they're going, I look at it as they are people that have done what I want to do. So I admire them because I want to follow in their footsteps. I'm not looking at the hierarchy of I want to be in the upper echelon of comedy because of anything that comes with it except for being that good at comedy. I was talking to my buddy Cole Strange, who I used to live with and who I just stayed with when I went out there. Awesome fucking dude. He knows more about comedy than just about any layperson because he listens to so much podcasts and goes and sees it a lot. He went and saw Dave Chappelle in the Hollywood Bowl. And then he also went and saw him in the Belly Room. And then he went and he got an email for a surprise special guest. And he was in the Belly Room when it was Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock on stage. And P. Diddy and Kim Kardashian were in the audience. And he's watching Dave Chappelle just talk about the slap and all the stuff that happened. And he had already seen him 2 other times. And he did 45 brand new minutes that were perfect and stand up and making everybody laugh. Because Dave Chappelle is at a place where he thinks in stand-up. Because he's so good at stand-up and storytelling and that presenting. That's where I want to get. I don't give a shit about the hierarchy. I want to be...
No, but it's ingrained in it. Because like when I'm doing the Golden Cricket stuff, I'm meeting all these people and they're talking up all these other like CPG, consumer packaged goods, people, founders who started businesses. And they're speaking about them like they're celebrities. Mm-hmm. And they have the same passion we have for comedy about these people starting companies.
Yeah.
And so and politicians are probably the same way, that they're just like, yeah, dude, Hitler was so good at controlling people. I want to be like that guy. Or something to that extent.
I agree.
You see where I'm going with that?
So I think it's more in line with if you find your passion for a specific thing, then regardless of the hierarchies, following that passion is the clearest. If you have like the requisite skill, knowledge, and financial backing, then you will make it to the top of your passion if you follow it. Like I saw that in the motivational speaking world. There were so many people that like what they wanted to do, they had a very clear mission that was like, I went through a bad thing. I felt bad about this. I did this thing. It changed my life. I want other people that are feeling like I felt to feel how I feel now. So that's their passion. Like Hal Elrod's a fucking incredibly passionate dude. And he was on the brink of, he got hit by a drunk driver and was told he was never going to walk again. And then he ran a marathon about it. So he wrote that book, and then he's coaching and he's helping and he's doing all this great stuff. And then the 2008 financial crisis happens. And he said it was more painful for him losing all of his money, being on the brink of collapse and just freaking out, not knowing what he's going to do because he's built this life and he's worked so hard, coming from this guy that was almost dead to now just being this awesome coach and knife salesman and doing all this great shit in Cutco. And now he's about to lose it all because the economy's turned to shit. And then he went and he just started studying millionaires and what millionaires do. And then he created a morning routine. And then he did that and everything changed for him. And his life went exponentially better. And then he wrote the book about it called The Miracle Morning. And then he shared that mission with the world. And it's resonated so much because of his passion for that specific thing. And I think that that's how you transcend the hierarchies. You don't have to look at, oh man, Tony Robbins is really fucking killing it with UPW. Like, you have to look at this guy, Sean Stevenson, was fucking crushing it. Those guys had a superior amount of passion for the thing that they were doing and then just followed it to the top.
Yeah, you're literally saying that they're going up a hierarchy.
I guess.
It doesn't...
I just don't think that
you're saying that they don't consciously think that they want to get to the top of a hierarchy.
Yeah, I think people that are focused on hierarchies and getting through them are bound to that like that world. If you believe that everything is just about ascending hierarchies, then you're going to be stuck just playing with those fucking steps.
Well, I just think it's more awareness and realizing that you're trying to get up hierarchies. Because, like, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm not stuck in one industry, but it is about rising up. It's about getting higher. And you can't talk about going up or top or higher or use these words of height distributions without inherently bringing up hierarchies.
Okay, that's fair. But
I want to hit your nicotine pen, but I definitely shouldn't do that.
oh yeah, you shouldn't. I won't give you that one.
Need lungs.
Yeah, CBD is fine because it helps with stuff, but you don't need nicotine. That'll vasoconstriction. Dude, I'm gonna put these shirts back available so that people can order them. We did a limited run before, and I didn't do a good enough job of telling everybody that, that we were doing a limited run. So a bunch of people were like, "Where can we get a shirt?" I was like, "It's over.
Sorry,
They're done. Now that you see that I have it, means that the run is over."
Also, that's a DMT vape I'm smoking. It's not a nicotine vape.
Yeah, isn't that cool? He has a DMT vape, and I have a donut.
Or a weed pen. It's just not nicotine, though.
Yeah, but it's not nicotine.
Because nicotine pens are gay. Even though I...
Okay.
I'll take some, too, but they're gay.
Feels so good.
All right, I'm gonna take one.
Are you? No, not for me.
All right, thanks.
Don't. I'm saving you. Hey, let's do a quick word from our sponsors.
Oh, yeah. You got that
I do.
ad read pulled up?
Yeah, I will read it. All right. Look, we're all adults here, and I know some of us choose to use nicotine to relax, focus, or just unwind after a long day. Lucy is a modern oral nicotine company that makes nicotine gum, lozenges, and pouches for adults who are looking for the best, most responsible way to consume their nicotine. It's a new year. Why not start it out by switching to a new nicotine product that you can feel good about? I just got these because we just got them as a sponsor. The mango are really great. I really like them. Also, what Eli just brought up is a very good point. Like, I love nicotine, and it's a integral part of my life. I enjoy it. Everyone should use it responsibly, but I like it. And it feels weird having this in my pocket on stage, and also just like that, like coughing. Especially in the COVID era, dude, coughing is the worst thing you can do in public now. So I love the mango lozenges, so I've been checking them out, and I really enjoy them. If you enjoy using nicotine, you should definitely check out Lucy's products at lucy.co. That's lucy.co, and use promo code GIGGLE at checkout. Also, I have to read this disclaimer. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Remember, if you're interested in a better way to use nicotine, visit lucy.co, and be sure to use promo code GIGGLE. Lucy.co. You're going to love it.
Also, did you know nicotine is shown to raise your testosterone levels?
Cool. I like that. Nicotine is a very interesting drug. I remember doing some research just on the drug itself.
I wish I didn't know that fact.
But it does different things based on the dosage. Like at smaller amounts, it acts like as a sedative. But in larger amounts, it acts the opposite way, and it brings you up. So like if you are...
Like the opposite of alcohol.
But you go out after like a long shift or after a good meal or after sex, and you take slow drags off a cigarette, and you just hold the nicotine in. Like, yeah. But if you're stressed at work and you're like, fuck, I just need a minute to get out there, and then you go outside and you just like you get up a little bit. You're like, all right, let's fucking go.
That sounds more like it's related to your breathing rate and heart rate. All right, well, we're at an hour.
Get out of here with your science. Your fucking science boy.
I'm a doctor.
What? When did that happen?
Been a doctor for a while, man.
What kind? Like a doctor? Like
Just whatever you need. I can't prescribe anything, but I can tell you what you need to get prescribed.
Okay, here's what I want. I want to lose weight.
Actually, your thing's above my pay grade.
Hell yeah! All right, cool, good. Well,
actually, you just got to exercise and eat healthy and sleep a lot.
But I want the benefits of those things without doing those things.
Meth?
I can't take the hit on my heart or my teeth. I need these bad boys. I got to do talking.
You could eat it. You could make a meth tea. A morning tea.
A sweet elderflower chamomile methamphetamine blend to start the day. Or, I don't know, what? I feel like that would taste really bad. Isn't it very chemical? Oh, and it's super illegal. I just realized that's a big crime. I'd have to procure meth.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to meth selling people.
You don't want to cook your own piss.
No, ew, dude, ew. Pee cooking, ew. I don't want meth at all. All right, back off meth. All right, what are my other options?
What do you think?
For him to lose weight?
Yeah.
For him to lose weight without actually doing anything.
I mean,
Carterine?
just eat less.
HGH?
Dan, that's the worst suggestion of them all.
Yeah, okay, well, the other options are all expensive.
God damn it. Carterine? Is that what Lil Wayne took to make the Carter?
It gives you really good cardio.
Cardiorine?
Yeah.
Excellent. What is it?
It's not that expensive, actually.
What is it?
It's not, I don't know, man.
You keep saying it's not things.
It's
all
a
right.
SARM?
It's like in that same category, but it's not a song.
It's
Oh, don't take SARMs. SARMs are terrible.
It's like a
SARMs are
research
bad?
chemical.
Ooh.
Don't listen to Dan.
No, I do
He's
listen to
fucking-
Dan. Look at Dan. Dan's the
He's
man.
soft.
No, are you kidding me? I think.
SARMs
Actually-
are gross, though.
Why?
They just, dude, don't do it. They fuck with you so hard.
All right. Well, I've got
What
two
about,
SARMs.
what about steroids?
Look at my SARMs. I got two slegs too.
Go with HGH. Evolve with, like, if you go with anything, go with HGH.
Ooh. Well, this sounds like something I should talk to my doctor about. Excuse me, doctor. I'm feeling a little bit bitch-made. Could you prescribe your boy some debitchification medicine? I've been told SARMs are bad.
No, yeah. HGH has shown to reduce belly fat by either 13 or 26% without any change in exercise or diet.
That sounds exactly like what I'd like.
Yeah.
I would love a reduction in belly fat without any change in exercise or diet.
Well, there you go.
Wow, medicine's cool.
But the problem is, it's like $300 to $400 a month.
Why isn't it? Oh,
And it takes at least 3 months for it to start working.
Oh, that thing doesn't work for your chin either.
You need a second one.
I did one for each, dude. Stacked up.
Have you tried growing a beard?
I can't. All right, so
He actually has a full beard. His chin just ate it.
dude, I don't know how much you can see on the cameras right now, but I have not shaved in 4 days. And
There's nothing
it
there.
just looks like a bunch of different colored ants died on my face. And their legs have been left behind. I have been cursed.
We should make him into protein bars.
Fucking might as well, dude. Facial stubble protein bars. Stubble bubble.
No, ant legs.
Oh, yeah, but it's stubble. All right, well, this has been great. Thank you for letting me talk about all my fun comedy stuff. I'm so excited for your fight. You think you're gonna? I want you to try and win.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, good. Try and win.
It's going to be so hot.
It's at least going to look cool.
It will look cool. Are you wearing the mask?
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's outdoors on a mat.
It's outside under the hot sun in Pflugerville, Texas. The mat's going to be like 150 degrees. I'm going to be sweating my ass off before I even get in the ring.
There's no gis?
No gi.
So you're going to be bare-chested?
No, I'm wearing a rash guard.
Okay, good. You should take
My feet are gonna
a
be hot,
bunch
though.
of ice packs and put them in your rash guard.
I think that's not allowed when they do the pat down.
Doesn't matter.
I should just bring an ice pack.
Yeah, you should take a bunch of ice packs and just have them on your body right before you go out there. And then you'll be like, yeah, I can stand the heat. I'm the best.
Dude, I definitely weigh too much right now. I should not have eaten like I ate last night. I don't know. They're pretty loose on the weigh-ins, but I'm pretty sure I'm way past what I am supposed to be.
Oh, that's
I was
funny.
206 yesterday, and I'm like 216 right now.
Dude,
Have you eaten 10 pounds in a night before?
I'm sure I've gained 10 pounds in a night, but I don't think I've eaten 10 pounds. I mean, I think the most food I've eaten is probably 2 or 3 pounds.
How am I 10 pounds more?
Well,
I guess throughout the whole day. Like
Water-
I'm eating nonstop all day and hydration.
water changes it. Like, if you didn't get enough sleep or too much sleep, it changes your weight fluctuation.
Yeah, you're a fighter. You're supposed to fluctuate 20 pounds in a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, plus, if you just shave your beard, you might lose all that weight.
It's not that big.
Do it. Shave your beard so I can have more facial hair than you.
No, I don't look that good without a beard. Oh. I think every girl I've dated, I have shaved my beard at one point, and they've been like, ew, I don't even want to have sex with you. And I was like, why would you say that?
That's so mean.
That's so fucked up.
That sucks a lot.
And now they're all dead.
Good. And they all have beards now. We curse them. We're witches.
Oh, yeah. I used to just inject my girlfriends with steroids while they were asleep, and then they would just wake up with body hair.
And delts. Sup, Eli? We try to fuck. I'm gonna give you some neck. I got traps for days.
I have so much testosterone. My girlfriend started growing a mustache.
Nice.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right,
This
great.
is fun. I enjoyed
Kill it today. I hope that you do very well in your fights and that you beat up the purple belt.
Me too, man.
Thanks for tuning in.